That today is World Mental Health Day. That's
and
right.
you guys know that
Yeah.
this is a campaign that just started to become quite serious
Sure.
here in this part of the world. But everyone does need to care for their mental health. And on this World Mental Health Day 2024, the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, narrowed it down to mental health at work.
That's right.
And the World Mental Day is basically uniting with partners with the WHO, right, to highlight the vital connection between mental health and work. Now, safe, healthy working environment can act as a protective factor for mental health. Now, unhealthy conditions, including stigma, discrimination, and exposure to risk like harassment and other poor working conditions, can also pose significant risk affecting the mental health of people. Now, the overall quality of the life and consequently participation of productivity at work, with 60% of the global population in work, urgent action is needed to ensure prevent risk to mental health and protect and support mental health at work. And that is why the WHO narrowed down the entire conversation for the World Mental Health Day 2024 to mental health at work. And yes, it is essential for government, for employers, organizations which represent workers and employers and other stakeholders responsible for workers' health and safety to work together to improve the mental health at work. Now, actions to address mental health at work should be done with meaningful involvement of workers and their representatives as
Exactly.
well. And, you know, persons with lived experience of mental health conditions. By investing effort, investing resources, like I said, we are improving when it comes to inclusion of these things in our society, basically, and the need for creating more awareness
Sure.
for people to be mentally sound. But yes, more can be done. Investing effort and resources, you know, in evidence-based approaches and interventions at work. Now, it's very important to ensure that every opportunity that you're giving, you enable workers to thrive in the workspace and in life as well. And the action basically calls for everyone to look out for the people that work for them and look out for people that they work for.
That's right.
I mean, it's important because the working population, like you said, is 60% of the population
Exactly.
are in the workforce.
Right.
Which means if we have 60% of unstable people, we have a damaged society.
It's more like, giving a helping hand, out there. I mean, if you shake hands, you're not shaking yourself, you're shaking some of the person outside yourself. So it's
Yeah.
important for us to indeed know the level of strength that we carry mentally, so that we can drive the workforce. 60% is a huge number. And imagine that out of that 60% too as well, we might have maybe half of that, percentage, right?
Yeah.
Having a mental health issues. And if you're not
yes.
able to tackle or talk about these things, of course, how do we now become so productive? And that's why a day like this is very key. I mean, with the key messages, that follow with it and align, it does feel good. But then this conversation should go beyond now. I mean, it shouldn't just be a one-day conversation because quite a number of persons would want to say, everybody has a mental, issue. We all have our problems that we are fixing. Yes, we do all have our problems. But then if we are focusing that problem just by ourselves individually alone and not looking at it as a collective menace or a collective situation, look, it will indeed hamper development. It will hamper productivity. It will hamper even how we see ourselves, our social life, right? And all of that. Look, Martha, it is also alarming. I don't know if you've seen, on the roadways. I've seen a couple of, able-bodied persons, just, walking, on the roadways, and some would want to call them mad people, madmen. Do you know that some of these guys, it's just a little bit of rehabilitation, maybe just a little bit of attention, and they will just switch back. But no, we are not having that.
What even got them there in
That's
the
the
first
point.
place?
Yes.
What got them
That's the
there
point.
to that point in the first place? Because it's easy to get swamped by all of the things that we see happening in society.
Right.
And it's easy for us to get carried away by these things. I was seeing a video today, and literally that doctor was talking about how the people who often look cheerful and are always there for people are the people who suffer mental health
I don't doubt
disorders. And, and these people also need help. last year, suicide was such a thing, in the Nigerian community, because we saw a lot of people jumping from the Third Mainland Bridge.
Exactly.
We saw people hanging down themselves. Even this year,
up until now,
yes,
that's still ongoing. I tell you,
sometime this year we had someone climb a mast. And
recently, that has happened again. An electric pole, and somebody actually climbed, and all of that.
So the mental health of a nation is the reflection of the state of that nation.
Exactly.
The mental health of the people in a workspace refers or just is a reflection of the policies, the management of that place.
Very important.
So the WHO narrowing this down to the workplace means that they have conducted research and have found that most of the mental health problems that are experienced, that have been reported, come from the workplace. And that is why their key message for this year is mental health and work, and mental health in the workplace.
Right.
Remember when we always on Mondays, when we get to talk about workstation, we emphasize on the need to have work-life balance. And many times some people don't afford themselves the opportunity to create that balance. Some organizations also do not create that avenue for people to have that balance.
Sure.
It's a two-way street. While you get to work, also it is as important as doing your job.
Right.
Resting, taking out that time to breathe is also as important as doing your work. So a supportive work environment fosters the mental health, of that place, providing purpose and stability. But poor working conditions can harm the mental well-being and reducing both job satisfaction and productivity.
Well, it's also very, very, important to look at, the risk that workers face, workers face risk to mental health. I mean, every now and then there are various, risks to mental, health that workers indeed face. And some of them include discrimination, poor working conditions, or limited, autonomy. I mean, low paid or insecure jobs often maybe lack adequate, protection, especially leaving workers in these jobs more exposed to psychological risk, psychosocial. I mean, not just psychological, but psychosocial risk, and that also has an impact on the individual, as we will also see that in a short bit. I mean, lack of support for the people with mental health conditions can also negatively, impact their self-confidence. So when you find that person on that job who's lacking some sort of self-confidence and all of that, you might want to check for the mental health of that person. It could, there's another angle to it, right? Which also, looks at the place of enjoyment at work. When the person is not enjoying the work anymore, you know that there's a mental situation going on. The capacity is no longer the way it used to be, and all of that. And then you see absences and ability to gain employment. All of these career and family members are similarly afflicted. And afflicted, because it's an affliction. I don't want to take it to a church, but it's an affliction, right? But whilst we know that there might be a spiritual side to that, which we will not be indeed bothering ourselves on this time, but we're looking at the social or psychosocial, aspect, to that very, very, situation. I mean, look, let's not act as though we don't know it. I mean, if you look at yourself, search yourself personally too, you would also discover that, look, you've gone through one mental health situation or the other and not even know it, not even have the right word for it. Sometimes you just get to work, well, that happens to me sometimes though, and I'm so not cheerful, and you think that things don't affect me. Well, they do affect me. But yes, I don't know where I get a drive from. One of the ways to tackle it might just be looking inwardly, looking at what it is that you do, thinking to yourself and asking yourself, whatever got me into this line of job in the first place? What was that thing that motivated me? What was that thing that inspired me? And what use is the medium that I am conducting going to be to the other person who's listening? And that's what drives me. Before you know it, I pick up back.
Exactly.
So yes.
So depression is also a mental health
very,
condition.
very solid.
And sometime last week, depression was trending on X. And I'm wondering, why is that trending on X? Now, much as we're laying it bare before you, some of the things that can cause your mental health problems, especially at work, you also do have a responsibility to protect your mental health. Your mental health is your responsibility, basically. So I can't say that if Udwak does not know the value of my mental health, I also should not know the value of my mental health.
No.
You know, or if I don't understand the value of his mental health, he also does not have to. So it starts with you first.
You and I.
If you value your mental health, you will block out anything that puts you in a negative place. Now, we also want to encourage as many people as possible. When you're going through something that is beyond you, it's important that you have someone that you can share
something.
that. Exactly. Especially, it doesn't even just have to be in the workspace.
That's right.
It can be in the home. You are experiencing some level of pressure. Share it with somebody. Because again, I can tell you for a fact that the happiest people are the most depressed people.
Right.
You know, you'd hear that the most beautiful and handsome people are the most depressed people because they get to have a lot of people around them, and in split seconds they are all alone. Right. You know, but nobody ever believes that they have to go through that, you know, stuff. So it's a lot. I was also seeing a video. I was watching a documentary yesterday when I saw that today was, you know, the World Mental Health Day. And the man was just basically talking about his kid who, you know, the kid had been suffering from mental health problems for a very long time, and they played with it, or they downplayed it, sort of, right? But their parents, right? And one thing you should never do to a person who you know and have confirmed that they're going through anything of the sort is leave them alone. So they left this guy alone. He was in his apartment. The parents went visiting, and they knocked and knocked and knocked. There was no answer. So they had to call the police to break down the door. And when the police eventually broke down the door, they found the guy dead there. Wow. So you see, we play with these things a lot, and this awareness, we might not even take calls today, but just to create the awareness about the need to prioritize your mental health.
Exactly.
You know, even as an employer of labor, many times we try to say, okay, the employees are the one who has mental health to protect, but the employers, the people who give you the job that you do, also go through some mental strains, because if you know, they have to think about running the cost of running the place. They have to think about ensuring that the staff members are satisfied. They have to think about ensuring that there's enough money generated to pay salaries. They also go through some level of mental
not
strains.
Forgetting your personal families too, because that is also another dimension, and all of these things that play out at the workplace also plays out
in
at the family, and you know, so it is more like a circle or a cycle, and it goes round. But the truth is, it's we could also say that it is something that it's not new to life. I mean, as long as you're breathing, you have your heart pumping and all of that, yes, you will face this. Now, this is not to say that you're a castaway if you're undergoing a mental health, you know,
I think
situation. We all do. Everybody does
like,
that.
You're
That's
not
the
just
point.
in the very good place.
But what we are saying is get that one person to talk about it, because not talking about it alone is what leads you to the place of being almost suicidal.
I think let's leave it there.
All right,
we'll pick it up from here when we get back. We have some, you know, financial obligations.
Okay.
So yes, keep it locked in. We will be right back.
Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, here to stay.
Listen to this announcement. Farex Borehole. We are competent. We are committed. We
081 57 91 7278 081 57 91 7278. The Eagles FM 102.3 FM Ember Package is a sure way to getting a wider clientele.
You're still tuning in and locked on. It is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Excited as I am always. I mean, maybe because we're talking about something that is very peculiar, something that's very germane, something.
It's because you're seated right next to me.
Well, that also.
Don't act like, oh. I didn't expect that.
I know.
I didn't expect
I know.
Yes.
But yes, it is Udwak Daniel right here. You need the golden voice, you can call me. And yes, the delectable is also here too.
And yes, the one and only. Why did you call my own name for me now?
So that you get confused in the end. That's
no.
the point.
The one and only.
Just as you are now.
No, I'm not. The one and only, anyways. Matha right behind here. And yes, we're talking mental health. Today happens to be World Mental Health Day.
That's right.
And yes, of course, we will definitely revisit the issue of mental health. We'll have someone here in the studio join us and talk about this. But yes, in the meantime, let's hear what you guys have to say. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Pronto.
Okay.
Okay, I guess the network is pretty bad. But you can call us, you already know, 090735300 and 44 or 09087668888. I'll leave the portal for you.
All right, the WhatsApp portal number would be 0909-705-4450. How has this topical issue that we're discussing affected you as a person? Let's go take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the man with the golden voice.
Good morning to you. Is this Selassie?
Good job, Daniel.
That's right.
Selassie!
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Enjoy this program. We are talking of mental health.
Exactly, Selassie.
Almost all Nigerians are facing the challenges of mental health.
I agree.
Waking up yesterday, discovered that the fuel pump price has increased. As I'm speaking to you now, many people lost their livelihood just because of this fuel increment.
Exactly.
As I'm speaking to you, if you go to the Federal Secretariat and other places, some civil servants, they close and sleep after work because they don't have the transport to travel maybe from that place to Suleja, to Gwagwalada, or to Kefi. So you can imagine the mental health of that person. If the person is a driver or secretary or any other person that attends to the public, then you can imagine a doctor or a nurse. All these things attributed to the mental health challenges. A person is facing with all the school fees and so on and so forth. Sometimes you will say, what is wrong with this nurse? It's like you don't know. And in fact, the problem that you don't you look at the things that aggravate to the mental health. And I'm telling you, it's not easy at all. But I believe that this project called Nigeria shall be great again. But I'm telling you, almost all Nigerians are facing this challenge of mental health for one way or the other. Nobody.
All right. Thank you so much, Selassie, for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you so much there. I mean, Selassie has made it, put it out there. And, I cannot agree less. Well, we've gone across, social media platforms. You can also join the conversation. I mean, be a part of the discourse this morning. And we will indeed, take your messages. Remember that we're being live streamed, right, across social media platforms. So let's go take this one and hear from you via the WhatsApp portal number. Hello and good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Well, Mayor.
Welcome. No, this is...
No, Mayor.
Okay.
Good morning to you, Elder.
Elder, sorry.
Good morning. My regard to you people.
Thank you so much, Elder. Yes.
When I make everything funny, I don't laugh at the laugh.
Chai. But Elder, that's serious matter.
You have been a wicked,
Revised standard version.
No. I just want to respect. Although what you are going to do, I better go carry Prince Ike. Only Prince Ike can speak that type of English where they speak.
Is it only Prince Ike?
Only Prince Ike. Elder.
All right, Elder. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Elder, you call from Kubaba. You call from Kubaba, Elder.
Yes.
Okay.
From Cuba.
How Kuba mental health day?
My brother, 95% of Cuba, 95% of human beings in Nigeria now, they have mental health.
My God.
Problems.
And 95%, I tell you. And then what it causes, the politician causes. The inflation in this country now. You don't know, say, me, they are not just sometimes they are the drive. If I went blind to one place, they are going to miss road, I will think this road. Maybe I will go far, go turn. Because of thinking. Some people, if you see them, they move on the road now. If you home for them, they know will come out because their mind is not there. Because of problem. Some people have children. Have up to 6 children. They have no food. They have no food yesterday, and then this morning you have no hope to give them food. There's no way. That type of person, what you do to say is normal. See people they walk out on the road now. You see people talking. You see before they say Nigeria, they are the laughter in the world. But now Nigeria, they are the murmuring in the world now. Everybody is murmuring because of the inflation from the government, from the government, the way politicians put us. So 95% of Nigeria now they have mental problems. Included and not just because of thinking.
Elder,
please, no get mental health.
I said to you.
Yeah, I get that, Sha.
I tell you, say sometimes they go, I used to miss road because of thinking. The children in the school, they are worrying me. This one at one are worrying me. Go to market, the price of gari, price of rice, price of this, and then all the children they have to receive. In that type of thing, your mind is not there. You have all those problems. 95% of Nigeria they have mental problems now because inflection from the government.
Okay,
the way
Elder.
politicians put us.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you
bless
so much,
Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Elder,
You know,
for your contribution here.
Martha, that's the Elder has just put a cap, on it already. The truth is, there are some people that we see. I see them. I don't know about you though, but I'm sure you must have seen them. They just walk on the roadways and they're talking.
I do it
Like
a
they
lot.
can talk from the beginning of where
You
they're
don't
coming
do
from.
it.
I saw them. I don't do that.
I personally do like.
But I see that it's now rampant. Martha, you need to go get checked.
No, see, it's
I
not-
need to check you.
Long before,
Lord!
long before now, I talk to
And you're
myself.
just talking to yourself
I talk to myself
on the
a lot.
roadways.
I do that a lot.
Ha!
But I don't know. Is it a mental health disorder?
It is all.
It's not a disorder.
It is
Hello,
all.
good morning.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning
Dr.
to you.
Lajide, good morning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, man. Dr. Lajide from Wisconsin.
Awesome. Talk to us, doctor.
Thank you, sir, doctor. I hope we are talking about the mental world mental debate.
Yes, today.
Yeah, very good, very good. I have to tell you that even in Western world, there's what we call mental disorder. I'm getting it.
Yes, please.
Not until when even people that are well fed, that are in good condition, they still suffer mental disorder.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Yes, please.
the greatest mental problem I suffered was during my PhD.
During what?
PhD. Normally, I think everyone who
Oh,
goes through that
PhD. Yeah.
Yes, that was the great because it's totally different from normal MSc and first degree. You are face to face with people that eminent scholars. They will just be looking at you. But what are you saying? Somebody will just look at you and say, even what you are reading, are you I beg, let another person speak. So I had that mental torture. From home. How do I prepare myself? How do I prepare my thesis? How do I talk to these people? How do I convince them? What am I trying to say? That at every point in time, we do have mental challenges. Not that when we went to street, we move our clothes. People